in the fashion industry to the next level. All right, welcome back. It's still Galaxy. Today, away from the Google goodies. Google goodies. Okay, Google. Away from the Google goodies, we'll be looking at lifestyle right now, specifically dating among the teens. When exactly should dating start? How young is still young? And what are the boundaries? What are the do's? What are the don'ts? And how far can you go? What should you do? What you shouldn't be doing? We'll be discussing that on the show this morning. And specifically, would love to hear from you, your experiences. You can share with us if you have any. Let us know. Send us an SMS if you want to contribute on this program. The number will be displayed shortly on the screen, or you can also interact with us via our various social media platforms using the hashtag Galaxy Today. All right, we have a lady and a gentleman with us this morning. We have a life coach. He says he's triple A, Ade, A, Ade.
Just
I knew I was going to have somewhere. Good morning, triple A.
that's why you should have kept with the triple A.
I was going to go
You just wanted to stretch it and try.
Now, people were like, A. What is triple A?
Accelerating African achievement.
Accelerating is not your son name.
What makes you
is it
think
the
so?
middle name?
I have a friend. His name is African Farmer. That's his name. It's written in his
So he
passport.
farms for Africa.
So what makes you think? Some people call their name, children's name, Success.
Well,
Yes.
progress, success, justice.
So what's the guarantee that my name could not be accelerating?
All right, so we don't do injustice. We have a beautiful lady joining us on the show this morning. She is a youth advocate, a youth advisor, a motivational speaker, and okay, did I just disappear? And a serial entrepreneur. She is Eniola Adeniji. Many thanks for joining us on Galaxy
Yeah,
today.
thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're looking very nice, by the way.
Thank you.
All right. I think I'm going to start with you. I just want to be very respectful so they don't break my head. You know what they say about ladies,
Ladies first, yeah.
So, Femi, Triple A, I hope you don't mind.
No, please. You already said she's looking nice and you didn't say that to me, but it's okay.
What's looking nice? All right, okay, fine. Dating amongst the teen. Some people really don't understand. Some say children or teenagers should not even be dating. And if they should, just how or when should they start?
Okay, when it comes to teenagers, it can be a bit dicey. Earlier, I was talking to Cyprien. Growing up, I was once a teenager. We all were once a teenager. There are so many don'ts. Don't do this, don't do that. And the more they tell us, don't do this, don't do that, the more we're actually tempted to want to do that. So I think when you are telling people, don't do this, don't do that, then you should be telling them, do this and do that, because nobody's saying the do's. There's so many don'ts. Okay, for relationship, I believe that the moment a lady gets to 18, 19, let them try out.
When you say try,
because if you say don't try out, chances are we are doing it. We are just hiding it.
so we're not telling
We are
you
just
to
going
try
to be
truth.
meeting somewhere 2 streets away from our house.
In the corner.
Yeah, in the corner. So if our parents I think the difference between us back here in Africa and the Western world is that James will actually come to the house to look for.
There's prom dates now.
You know, they plan their dates. You know, their parents know. The father opens the door to say, "I know you're taking her out. Make sure you bring her back home at 10." You know what that does is that it gives them this level of accountability.
Okay.
And what accountability brings is that you are able to help them to guide them. Let teenagers learn. You know, you allow them to date and then learn. Because if you keep shielding them, and then the first time I'm actually dating is 24, and then I go straight into marriage, chances are there are a lot of things I might not understand, and then you just get there and you're clueless about what to do. So I believe that I run a teenager organization, and if I'm telling them don't date at 19, I know that they are dating. They're just hiding it from Antony.
All right, fine. Well said. All right, but let me just hear from Triple A. She says I should start at 19. Do you agree completely, or should it be a little lower or a bit higher?
I personally don't think there's a time exactly, in the sense that
Really?
yes. No, what I mean, not time exactly. I mean, as from the age of, the official age is 18.
Okay.
So as from the age of 18, you can start. Some people actually start at 17.
Okay.
There are ladies who are 23 and they have the mind and the emotions and the maturity of a 33-year-old woman. There are women like that. And so, especially for the ladies, it's, you cannot really peg it, but if you were going to put an official age, I would say 18 years old. That's about the safe official age. You're not a full-grown, legally recognized adult. Okay. So that age, now some people are late bloomers. Okay. Hello, I was a late bloomer when it comes to the issue of dating. When all my friends were already ayajin babes, I was still praying and telling them that it is a sin. But I don't think it's a sin even as a now. I just think that at the age of 18, you are legal, literally.
You're legal, but
so,
does that make you psychologically prepared and mature enough to understand?
That's a whole different ballgame entirely. But you know, if you're a 23-year-old guy abroad, if you date or sleep with a lady who's less than 18 years old, it's taken as statutory rape, okay, because you slept with a minor. Yes. And a lot of people get in trouble, especially even in college, on this particular issue, sleeping with the lady who they thought, the guy would tell you, I thought he was, I mean, even Akon had that problem. He said he thought she was 18. He didn't know the lady who was at his show and whatever was throwing herself at him. So what I'm saying is that 18 is the legal age, and so let's just stick it at 18.
Okay, now let me get back to you now, Eniola. You were advocating a situation where the parents are in the know of the girl's relationship with the boy, and of course the boy's relationship with the girl. But do you really, looking at our own situation in Nigeria and all of that, do you really think the average Nigerian parent would actually allow a boy come, knock on to see BC on to take her out and the boyfriend?
I think we are gradually getting there. Maybe 10 years ago, we were not quite ready for that. But I think the generation of parents that we have now, they're actually much more open-minded, and they understand that when it comes to dating, you can either hide it, be overly strict about it, and then you end up with children that commit mistakes. You end up with teenage pregnancy and all that stuff. What this level of openness does is that it helps you to create this level of relationship with your children. So much that when they begin to have emotional issue, when the guy begins to pressure your child, the first person she wants to talk to is you, because you have developed that level of relationship with her. Of course, in Africa, I understand that we can be a bit. I remember the first time I heard about sex as a teenager was because there was a girl down my street that got pregnant, and all the mothers thought that it was now time to educate us, and all they did was no guy should touch you. If they touch you, you get pregnant. I went to school that week making sure that nobody touched me, but I was playing football, so how am I supposed to endure guys not touching me with only being the only girl on the football team? So I believe that we are gradually getting there where parents are actually understanding that I have my teenagers, their parents, we talk very well, and they will say, okay, so your daughter has a guy that came over. I said, okay, so how did it go? You allow them to come to you just as they are. You have to build. It's not a military regime where you have the organ and the servants, and you are not supposed to question anything. Allow them to talk about it. Talk about their feelings. They have feelings. They are human beings. They are not machines that they don't feel things.
Justin, I wanted to
talk about it, and maybe they're being secretive. Although as a parent that they have someone they're seeing them. How do you make them talk to you about their relationships?
Okay, so I advocate for this. A lot of times, parenting is one of the toughest jobs on the face of the earth. Now, it's so tough that if you miss it, you will regret it for the rest of your life. So it's not a game. It's not a job that you take with. It's not if you have to go and study 4 years in the university to become to be able to do a particular profession. How many years do you think you need to study before you actually start parenting? And even while you're at the job, you still have to keep improving yourself, reading, studying, trying to know what's the best way to handle these kids. Because the truth of the matter is, every generation of kids you need a different approach. You cannot use the approach that your parents used on you. When we were growing up, it was the idea of boy, girl. I mean, mother told me the day she first of all saw her period, she was in boarding school. They sent her home. She got home and they said the same thing. If a boy comes near you, you are pregnant. But you can't use that anymore because they have the Google.
Yes.
They can Google anything they want, and they can ask any question. So what you need to build is build friendship.
Okay.
Build a friendship with them where they can talk. Now, I have parents who have come to me and say, listen, maybe they've not been able to get through to their own children. They ask someone like me, you are like their uncle, talk to them, have a conversation with them. Maybe they can talk more to you. And there are a few of them who open up to me and tell me, oh, and we gist, because when I was a teenager, I remember I was in a camp. Okay. And in that camp, there was a girl I really liked. As in, I really, really liked this girl. I tried to talk to her. This girl was just giving me bone face. So one day I was just staring at her from afar. One of our coordinators now saw me and said, what's up now? I said, fine. He said, what's the matter? I said, I like this girl. She's not even giving me any face at all. He said, eh. And then he told me something. He said, if you like a girl, go and meet her and tell a girl now that you like her. I said, she will shout at me and say, And a girl, first thing you must know, if you like a girl, never be afraid. Even if she's carrying fire, help her remove the fire, put it down, say what you want to say. Yeah. Put the fire back on her and let her go. At least you have said your mind. At least, and that was my first, I would say, toasting babe 101 lesson. You understand? So, but it wouldn't have come from my dad, it wouldn't have come from my...
But seriously,
you understand?
How did it go eventually?
Well, I talked to her, I got her number.
All right.
Eventually, yes, I got her number.
You did on the first
yes,
call?
yes, I got her number eventually. And then, but I was calling then, but she wasn't still not responding, so I left her then. That was when I got my lesson number 2. Okay. Not every girl will like you. So don't kill yourself. If you toast a girl and she doesn't like you, move on.
Okay. And
the other one.
Without abusing her.
Yeah, exactly. And move on without abusing her. Okay. Because you never know, you might need that friendship for other things. Now, I was going to say this. Yes, now, that brings me to the main point that I wanted us to look at. I don't want us to, because at this age, teenagers are under a lot of pressure, especially peer pressure. And they need to understand that it's all right as they grow at their own pace. Now, what you need to focus on with the opposite sex is friendship. Build friendships. It's key. Build friendships with a lady, make friends with them. I can tell you a secret. If any guy, young teenager is out there, you want to know how to understand girls, be friends with them. Yes. Be their friend. In fact, don't be afraid of being friend zone. Don't worry. After you be friends with them and you know how to relate to them, you will know what makes a girl tick and what doesn't make a girl tick, and how to go about removing yourself from friend zone if you want to remove yourself from friend zone. So, but be a friend with them. Build relationships. Build friendships. You never know, those friendships will blossom into amazing stuff.
All right, you're getting tips from people. So, but just try and get one or two so you can actually put to practice. And now, Eniola, our school of thought believes that when young people, teenagers, are enlightened about friendship and relationship too early, they tend to make some rash decisions sometimes, and they make some mistakes. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't. I think a lot of people just we keep giving people images that when relationship is about. I was telling you about jumping. We said this thing. I don't want to jump her. My teenagers say that. When they say they don't want to jump her, that means they are saying they don't want to have sex with her. They just like her. They just want to be close. If we keep making it look as if it's don't do it or something bad is going to happen, you are giving them the image that relationship is all about jumping each other. It's not about jumping each other. Let me give you an example. When I was young, I was dating somebody that was about 20. I was 29. I was 19. He was 23. Because he wanted to please me, because he was afraid that somebody is going to come somewhere and then hijack me. He pushed him to be better in his dreams. He kept pushing his dream. In fact, he was looking for people that were older than him, and he was modeling his life after them. And I was doing the same, because I was like, oh, if he's going and I'm not going, one day he's going to find somebody else that has the level of intelligence that he seeks, and he's going to leave me. So I was constantly developing myself. I was reading, because we both love. That was one thing that attracted us to each other. We both love reading. He was one of the people that really helped me to grow when it comes to intellectual. So we need to help them understand that relationship is about like you said, friendship. It's about building friendship. It's about having things.
It's about iron sharpening
iron. Basically, it's about having things in common. Even as adults, I personally, I before anything else, intelligence is a turn on for me. I want somebody that we can actually see that I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm thinking every day. I'm always building a proposal. So I want to be with somebody that I know I can say, oh babe, look at this, and then we can sit down to talk about it. Not somebody that just is clueless about what is happening in the world around them. I might not be talking about politics, but I'm very, very aware what is happening about politics, about football, about anything. So you understand. So as teenagers, I teach teenagers that relationship is about, I believe relationship and marriage is a union of power. It means that we come together and we make big things happen. But I tell them that even in relationship, we might not end up together, but we would have helped. There are no regrets in relationship. We would have helped each other to actually be better than we met. The idea is to leave them better than you met them. And I tell my teenagers, the boys and the girls, I said, date the person you are with like you are dating somebody else's husband or wife. That's how you should look at it. That how would you feel if this person that you are with now does somebody else is with your girlfriend right now, like somebody else is dating her right now, and he treats her so badly, and then you have to come into the picture and begin to struggle to fix her. You understand? So treat people so good that even if they don't end up with you, whoever they are going to be with won't have to struggle, and you too won't have to struggle when you meet the other person that you have to be.
I think in line with what she's saying, and that brings me to another line of thought. You know, then especially if you come from a Christian background, like I did, and she does as well.
I did.
There's also yes, that you did as well. Now, there was this pressure of, you know, if you date, you have to marry. Okay. And I need to debunk that myth.
So not everyone you date, you must get
not married. Everyone you date actually you will marry.
End up with.
Especially at that young age, marriage is not the main thing. It's just to get to know, because everything you need experience. You need to have experience of how guys think and how guys behave.
But essentially, what is the essence of dating at that particular age?
Basically, it's okay. So it's for a few things. You need a special friendship. Okay. That's the word I would use for it, because at that age you're already becoming an adult, and you're already being aware of the need for a special friend. Okay. And most times that special friend is not the female, it's not the same sex. Okay. It's the opposite sex. So that attraction is already there. So you need to start learning to build companionship. That's what I call by special friendship. And with the help of the society, you can actually build an excellent companionship. And even if it doesn't work tomorrow, it doesn't have to end in a bitter, messy way. And we see a lot of these things happen on social media these days, that full-grown adults end relationships and they end them in a messy way. End marriages, end them in a messy way. If most of these people had been helped, groomed, to actually know how to build relationships from the start, they would know how to be able to make it work without having any issues. Now, that's one. Secondly, you also need to, another reason why you should do that, where you should have this relationship this time, is that it also helps you be able to understand the opposite sex more. Okay. So, like you said, you are learning, you're gaining experience. You're not likely, you might marry this person in the future. There are people who dated for 10 years. Maybe they were dating since when like 21, 20, and they got married in their 30s. There are those that happen. But I can guarantee you that that's only maybe 2 out of 10.
Yes.
Okay. But then again, let us look at something else. Now, she said growing up, what people emphasize more on were the don'ts, but they never emphasized on the do's. Okay, since you have agreed that dating for teenagers should start at 18, because that's the official legal age.
Can't start.
Should start. Okay, but the thing is that just how far can they go? What boundaries should not be crossed?
Fantastic. Good question. So first of all, I don't subscribe to sex before marriage. So it's very, very key. Now, but I know that teenagers are very, very inquisitive. They're curious and they're tricky as well. So they know that the Bible says don't, especially for the Christian teenagers, they know the Bible tells them don't have sex before marriage. But they ask, can we kiss? So that's the question now that you have to answer. So can you kiss? So the question is, I don't do the don'ts, because these guys are too smart for your do's and your don'ts. I can guarantee you, they will find all the loopholes in your do's and your don'ts. And when you give them do's and don'ts, you are empowering them. Okay. So what you need to do is guide them. So it's a question. Okay, so if you kiss, what's now the kissing for? Yes, I just want to kiss now. Okay, so what do you think will happen after we kiss? We just kiss like that. We just kiss like that. Guys, Alpha, we just kiss like that. No, we just kiss like that. So, for kiss like that for what? And then, so the girls start realizing that, oh, you guys will not just kiss and leave it there. No, how can we kiss and we have to move forward? Move forward to what?
Move forward to what level?
So then by the time you start asking questions, where we end up is that we end up in sex. So why should you start kissing?
Okay.
And it just becomes obvious to them not to kiss.
Okay. So what are the borderlines?
Okay. I believe in relationships, even as adults, there are boundaries. When it comes to physical boundaries, he said most of the things when it comes to physical boundaries that there has to be reasons why we do things, and where are we going with this? If we are kissing and then we are doing touchy, where are we going to? Because it's like you kindle a fire. I tell them, do not start a fire you are not ready, that you can't contain. Okay. Kissing, romance, and things like that, they are fire. Okay. And then the more fuel you add into it, the bigger the flame becomes. Can you contain it? Do you have what it takes to contain it? It's beyond just pregnancy, because we make it look as if everything just arrives at pregnancy. It's beyond pregnancy. It's responsibility. It comes with it a lot of responsibility. Sex is
the rest of your life.
Sex is it builds this level of intimacy, and I tell teenagers that the problem oftentimes is not sex. The problem is what comes after sex. Because are you ready for that level of intimacy with somebody? Because sex brings intimacy. The purpose why God created sex is intimacy. Are you ready with for that level of intimacy? Because it brings you to that is why oftentimes, if you notice, when people have finished having sex, especially after marriage, before marriage, of course, you notice that there might be distance. You are both thinking that, okay, so what does this mean? And then what next? For some, it brings regret. And what that regret does is that, especially for the female, most women, young women, teenagers, when they get upset, because we have raised them to believe that when it does that, it means that your words have dropped by some particular level of percentage. So they begin to
reduce your price.
We tie. No, in our society generally, we tie a woman's worth and value to sex and all that. But men have been given a card at birth to just have it with as many people and as many times. But for the women, you have to keep it. We teach women virtuousness, but we don't teach men the same thing. So now I ask them that you can have a great friendship and a great relationship, and then sex is just that one thing that will just bring it crumbling down. So before you go into it, ask yourself, why are you going into it? And are you ready for the responsibility that comes afterward, the level of intimacy that comes afterward?
I look at it from this angle. I call it, it's like building a house. You build a house, and then you put electric wires in it. Now, you put electricity in the house. Now, that electricity is meant for what? To power your lights, to be able to give you iron, to use your fridge, to plug. It has a socket, and you can plug anything that you want to power. But at the same time, that same socket, you can tip your hand into it and you will be electrocuted to death. Yes. So that's what literally was, that's where I described, that's the metaphor I use for sex a lot of times. If you don't know how to use it, if you don't use it well, it can ruin your life.
Yes.
Okay, we have some comment here. Just to remind you that you can be a part of this conversation just before we get to our closing moment. Send us an SMS or interact with us on our social media platforms using the hashtag Galaxy Today. This one asked, he didn't say if it's a he or she or where he or she is writing from. In a relationship whereby you do not always have someone to tell you how you feel because you're scared of what I don't quite get you. Let me see if I can paraphrase what you are trying to say. In a relationship where you're in and you don't have someone tell you what they feel because they are scared of what you say, what do you do about it?
I'm trying to assume that the person, if you have a feeling, maybe, and then you're not able to easily tell the other person because you're afraid how they are going to react about it. You have to understand that relationship is about friendship. That's why I believe that you shouldn't even go into a relationship with strangers, because the essence of relationship is that we know each other so much that we just want to take it further. So when one of the ways you should know that you are with the wrong person is if you are not able to come boldly before them. It's just like the relationship we have with God, so much that we can come into His presence boldly. If you are not able to come boldly to be able to tell somebody that this is how I feel, I didn't like the fact that you insulted me, you talked so bad to me yesterday. If you have to worry about their reaction, you should be worried about maybe it's time for you to begin to evaluate what you have together, because I should be able to tell you and it shouldn't make me feel bad. Just last week, a quick one, a lady reached out to me online and told me that, okay, so there's this guy that is asking her out, and they've been talking online for some time, and they finally went on the first date, and on the first day he kissed her. And she didn't like it. She pushed him away, and he just continued. And because she didn't want to embarrass him right there, she just let it be. And then when she got home, she told him, and he made a joke out of it. And his replies to her messages were very, very insulting. And I told her, I said, for now, you are not going to be going on a date with him. You understand? Because you have to respect boundaries. Everybody have values, and anybody that cannot respect your values, they are not people that you should be with. Somebody can look so good to your eyes, and then they will drag you through hell. You understand? So if you cannot tell him, I don't know whether you are he or her, if you cannot tell them, you have to be worried. It's not a military regime. It's a relationship. It's a partnership that has to favor you as much as it favors the person. Don't ever let anybody make you feel they are doing you a favor by being with you. Nobody is doing you any favor. I bring something to the table, you bring something to the table. The things that they bring to the table no longer serve your appetite, you are free to walk away, and they can't hold you.
You shouldn't be forced
you shouldn't be forced to be into anything.
I think I was going to pick from what you said earlier when you talked about the fact that you shouldn't be in a relationship with strangers. You know, when we were growing up, I don't know how the teenagers these days do it these days. I'm not too in tune. I'm not as tuned as she is. Now, when we were growing up, you used to see a lot of things happen. And you meet at the party, and the guy can toast the girl at the party there, and the girl can accept, and they start dating there. I mean, people just meet randomly from different places, and they like her, and they toast the girl, and relationships start. And the lady said, "You just said to try." And as much as some of those things end up working, most of the time they don't work. And so I always advocate friendship first. Be friends, relate. Even if you met the person in the bus, and the guy is pressuring for a relationship. Even for the guys, I will say this to you: don't pressure a lady for a relationship immediately you meet her. Get to know her. If you really, because I always tell ladies, if a guy just meets you and he's just asking you out, he wants to sleep with you. That's all.
Okay.
That's my opinion. But if he's really interested in you, he won't jump to relationship first. He will talk about you, just with you, get to know you. And hey, you know this person really is interested in me. And then he will not make a decision based on what he has found out in those conversations that, okay, I really like this person, I want to go further.
Okay. All right, in our closing moment, what would your last word be to a 16-year-old who is actually thinking of going into a relationship?
For 16-year-old, face your book, face your book, face your book. Face your book. And I turned 31 last month, and I feel so blessed, and I feel so happy, because one of the things that helped me was at 11-year-old, I had a mentor. In fact, my mentor literally gives me 1 or 2 books every month to read until I was about 21.
Wow.
And it was actually my pastor and also a mentor. I believe very much in mentorship. For a 16-year-old, believe me, purpose gives you a different, finding your purpose as a person, it determines who your friends are, what you wear, where you go to. Nobody has a record of me anywhere where I was shaking bombs somewhere, because I knew where I was going to. I didn't stumble here. I walked consciously to this place. So as a 16-year-old, go to school. Chase your dreams. You have so much time, so much life ahead of you. Don't let anybody fool you about time. You own your own time. We do not operate based on anybody's time. We are all in a race, personal race. You understand? So at 16, go to school, have fun, look pretty, rub white powder, and do lip gloss, whatever it is that they do at that time. And I also would advise that at 16, because a lot is changing in the world. I'm very passionate about tech and space, and things are changing. Learn a skill. At 16, my own teenagers are always, most of my teenagers, in fact, I have 10 years olds that are learning, that can make hair very well, that will literally come to my house and make hair, and I pay them for it the same amount. Learn a skill, come back from school and then go learn a skill. Believe me, it will help you, because by the time you get to university and money is not forthcoming as much as you need it, you can work with your skill and be able to make extra money. Because one of the things that a lot of women head up in abusive relationship is because they don't have money, because the guy is giving you money for a recharge card, many money that you could make on your own. So get a skill, go to school, make your own money. Believe me, if you make money, there'll be guys that will be chasing you. It's not somebody that will be making you feel, will be making himself feel good.
Your final words.
I will end to a 16-year-old. I will say this to you. How many of you, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Sound of Music. There's a song that says, "Darling 16, going on 17, wait a year or 2. So meaning, by the time you wait 2 years, you're already 18. So don't jump into any relationship, wait a year or 2. And I don't think there's any other thing I want to add to what May said. Get a skill, enjoy yourself. Trust me, you don't need the headache of boys here too. Boys are headache. Trust me. So a lot of boys are headache. Right. Because they're still growing, they're still learning. they're still about to mature. So so at that age, learn, grow, enjoy yourself, have fun, and you will excel. God bless you.
Well said. A lot of messages that just come in at the 11th hour. I cannot really take them, but let me just try and take one for 30 seconds. Great topic. Kudos to the speakers. But in reality, these days we have lots of teenagers below 18 who are already dating. How are we supposed to discourage them? 30 seconds.
Yeah, well, we didn't say discourage them. Discouraging them is not the word. Okay. It's more or less guide them. So it's more or less helping them realize that okay, the consequences of their decisions and their actions, you can't stop them. That's the truth. You can't. But you can only make them realize the consequences of what you're doing and guide them through and let them be able to trust you that you have their true interest at heart, basically.
All right, we will rest the subject matter at that level for today. We are completely out of time. We must say a very big thank you to Triple A, who is a life coach. Thanks for being.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Justin.
And of course, Eniola Adeniji, motivational speaker, serial entrepreneur, among other accolades.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And just before the session, we had Taiwo Ogunlade, Director of Communications, Google West Africa. That's our show for today. I am Justin Academy. We urge you to join us again same time tomorrow, 10 a.m. for the entertainment edition. Bye for now.